Welcome to politicseastasia.com. My name is Florian Schneider, and in this video I will introduce you to a very useful approach to studying political communication called discourse analysis. I'll discuss what discourse is, what it has to do with politics, and what you yourself can do if you want to conduct your own discourse analysis. To most people, discourse simply means discussion. For academics, it is far more than that. Discourse covers all forms of communication. More importantly, discourse theorists argue that communication shapes the world we live in. When we communicate, we draw from assumptions and generally accepted knowledge to make statements that will make sense to others. But by doing so, we either reinforce those assumptions or we challenge them. Either way, we are contributing to the flow of commonly accepted knowledge known as discourse. Let me give you an example from the works of a very famous discourse theorist, the French sociologist and philosopher Michel Foucault. Foucault was interested in the relation between knowledge and power. He examined what people in France held to be true about the nature of crime and how they sought to protect society from it. He then showed how the concepts and theories that people have on this subject gravitate towards certain themes at certain points in time, and he also showed that we can explore these themes by analyzing what has been said and what has been written on these subjects. He then demonstrated how this discourse shaped political decisions on what to do with those who transgressed against society's norms and values. For Foucault, discourse crystallizes into political institutions, for instance, police forces or prisons, all complete with their own intrinsic logic on how to discipline society. All of this has very real consequences for the way people live their lives. Discourse analysis is a way to study such processes by looking at what and how people communicate. Many discourse analysts have followed in the shoes of Michel Foucault to study a huge range of topics, including health, security, international order, economic progress, and many, many more. Also, they've expanded what used to be a rather text-based approach by moving not only into more detailed linguistic analyses, but also including nonverbal elements, for example, visual communication. Think about how visual communication sets the stage for our understanding of the political world that we live in. Here's an example from East Asia. In 2010, the Chinese government hosted the Shanghai World Exposition. Throughout this event, a huge range of different actors made statements through their exhibits, through architecture, and even through urban planning, all the while trying to communicate a plausible vision of what the world was like and what China's place should be in this world. This included emphasizing the central role that nation-states played in the world. It also included showcasing examples of technological progress created by large multinational corporations. These two aspects of world expositions may seem self-evident, but they are not. Structuring our world as a system of nation-states is a political process, and so is sustaining an economic system that is informed by the logic of capitalism. The power of discourse is to naturalize such processes and make them seem self-evident. The visual setup of an event like the Shanghai Expo is a reflection of these natural-seeming assumptions, and at the same time, to a certain extent, a reinforcement of them. What discourse analysts do is a bit like conducting a forensic analysis. They take the communication process and they take it apart, looking at the various building blocks inside and how they work. In the case of a text analysis, this might mean that you explore the rhetorical tools that the text uses to make its arguments. For instance, a discourse analysis of a political speech might first mark all statements on a specific topic and then look at the ways in which the language suggests that these statements should be treated as self-evident. These findings then need to be tied together with the production background of the speech and with the social and historical context in which it was held. This then allows us to figure out what worldview informed this particular communication act and what intention it might have had. In the example you see here, the US government tried to sell a very specific idea of society, of entrepreneurship, and of international relations to the Chinese visitors of the US pavilion at the Shanghai Expo. all the while suggesting that the strong, liberal, individualist values that inform these ideas are actually universally shared by all of humanity. If you want to learn more about discourse analysis, take a look at the various posts that I wrote here on politicseastasia.com. You can find out more about the theory of discourse, about how to set up a research question and a research project in this area, and about what to do if you have to work with foreign language scripts, for example with Chinese, Japanese, or Korean. Also, I have 10 steps ready for you that you can apply as you do your own discourse analysis. All of this here on politicseastasia.com.